And how do you know what pleases Allah and what doesn't please Allah? You can find out all of that information by following and by reading this book right here, the Holy Quran. You'll know exactly what Allah Ta'ala likes and what He does not like. You cannot come up with your own theories on, yes, I think Allah Ta'ala would like this, so I'm doing this. No, everything is clear in this book. You cannot come up with your own theories about it. That even if I do this wrong thing, I think Allah will be happy because of so and so and so. You cannot innovate in religion. Innovate in anything else, but not religion. Religion is right here for us to follow. And once you indulge in this lifestyle of doing ibadah, you will find real peace in life. Once you are submitting, once you are doing ibadah, you will find the real peace in life. Only through this and nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. This is the only way to find peace. It mentions in the Holy Quran in Surah Ar-Ra'd chapter 13 verse 28, verily the hearts find tranquility in the remembrance of Allah. Hearts will find tranquility only with the remembrance of Allah. You can try anything else. It will give you temporary satisfaction, but then you will be depressed. It will give you a downward spiral. You will fall into the downward spiral and have that low moment. In the remembrance of Allah, there is no low moment. You are always aware of the fact of who is your creator and what is your purpose in life and what the ultimate goal is. Everything else in this world will make you feel good temporarily. It is all an illusion. It is just an illusion. Take the example of alcohol. You have it, you feel good. But the effect wears off. You have more, wears off. You have more and more and more and more, and there is no end to it. Take the example of drugs. Heroin, for example, has an effect that will last about 24 hours. After 24 hours, it wears off, it's gone. Marijuana will have an effect of about a couple of hours. After that, the effect wears off. Until you as a human being are relying on a substance to make you feel happy. You're relying on a substance just as a bare minimum, because now you are immune to it. There is no effect on you. You will see in the media and you will find a lot of people we idolize, singers, actors, musicians, so on and so forth. And we think that they are happy people. They're living very happy lives. And we want to follow them and we want to be just like them. But if you observe them for long enough, and if you observe them deeply enough, you will realize that that is not the case. Imagine if someone could snap his fingers and give you fame, fortune and leisure. Would you be happy? Of course you would be. You would be euphoric. You wouldn't be able to believe what has happened to you. But even that has a very short-term effect. Gradually, you would adapt to your new circumstances, your new life, and then everything else would start to return to normal and everything would become boring again. Studies have shown that big lottery winners, after a few months, are no happier than the average person. To recover from this joy, you would now need an even bigger high. So oftentimes, lottery winners, after a few months, they go into depression because they've experienced something so fantastic that now they're looking for something even bigger than that. And when they don't find it, they become depressed. They expect these miracles to keep happening over and over and over and over again, just to keep a bare minimum level of happiness. So the more you indulge in it, the more it makes you addicted. Now there is a study done by the BBC. There was a news report that actually came out in September of 2003. It was a report done on binge drinking or excessive drinking. Drinking more than the prescribed limit by the government. And it was done by the Ministry of Health in the UK. Studies by the Prime Minister's Strategy Unit showed that 17 million working days are lost to hangovers and drink-related illnesses each year. 17 million working days. The cost to employers is 6.4 billion pounds a year. The cost to NHS, the National Health Service, is 1.7 billion pounds. Billions are spent in clearing up alcohol-related crime and social problems. There are 22,000 premature deaths every year, and this is just the UK. 1.2 million incidents of alcohol-related violence in a year. Alcohol-related accidents, illnesses land about 150,000 people into the hospitals every year. Up to 1.3 million children are affected by parents with drinking problems. And all of these stats are conservative estimates. The news report said that the problem is actually far worse than these estimates state. It further mentioned that over 90% of British adults drink alcohol. 1 in 3 men drink more than they should. 1 in 5 women drink more than they should. Teenagers are drinking earlier and more heavily than ever before. Women in skilled jobs drink more heavily than other women. These statistics are very alarming. In continuation to this, there was another article that was written by 2 British women, young women, who were working for very good and decent companies. But they were both suffering from binge drinking or excessive drinking. And in that article, they mentioned that life is so empty and boring. We feel a state of depression, and letting go and indulging in our passions gives us release. Keep in mind that these are 2 women from the corporate sector. They are saying that life is boring and empty. And to give ourselves that release, that freedom, we indulge in excessive drinking and do whatever our instincts tell us to do. We indulge in all kinds of sin. This is what we do, and our lives are boring and empty. The question is, these women had good jobs. They had a nice income, probably a nice flat or a nice house. All the food they wanted to eat, whatever they wanted to eat, whatever they wanted to do. Yet, how are they depressed? How is their life empty? If we look up to these people, that if you have a job, you have an income, you have this, this and this, your life is perfect, well, guess what? There is something else which is missing from this picture. There is something else which the media is not telling you, that is not there. Statistics show that over 20 million adults in the US alone suffer from depression. 20 million. I have with me here a 28-page list in alphabetical order of famous people who have committed suicide. It is a list made up of hundreds of people, some that may even surprise you. Most of them are singers, actors and actresses, models, businessmen, politicians, sports personalities, lawyers, bankers, and so on. This is the list of people, famous people, notable people, who in the last century have committed suicide. Many examples you also see in the media. For example, in the case of rock stars, we have the famous example of Kurt Cobain, the lead singer for Nirvana, who ended his life. We look up to him, we want to be like him, follow his lifestyle, yet we don't know why he killed himself. If he had everything one could possibly imagine, then why did he take his own life? Similarly, you have the example of Marilyn Monroe, who killed herself with an overdose of sleeping pills. Apparently, any girl could say that I wanted to be just like Marilyn Monroe. Have that personality, boys chasing after you, have all the money in the world, all the things that money could buy, you have them at your disposal, yet why would you kill yourself? Something is wrong somewhere. Something is wrong somewhere, and we need to know what it is. If fame, beauty, power, money is the means to achieving happiness, these people should be the happiest people in the world. Yet these are the ones suffering from the most severe form of depression. And then there is another list that you can also find on Wikipedia of people who have ended their lives recklessly. Not directly committed suicide, but ended their lives recklessly, through reckless behavior. One of the most recent examples is that of Heath Ledger, who died with mixing of various prescription pills. When nothing else seems to work, you go to the supermarket or the pharmacist, buy a bunch of prescription drugs and start popping pills without realizing the consequences, just to get a high, just to get a different kind of feeling, because you want to disconnect from the reality of the world. And when you try to do that, you end up killing yourself.